It's FriYay. Who's here? Come on in. Let's play. It's Q&A today. I've got my cues pulled up. Who is in the house? Come on down. Yay. No, I don't want to do that. Hi, Catherine. Good morning to you. Sarah, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you are in this part of the world. Carla, it's rainy in Louisville and rainy in Pennsylvania. Hello, Denise. And Jenny's in the house. Hello, Martha and Tanya. I love saying hello to everyone. Hello, Yolanda. I'm great. How are you? Hello, Denise. Good to see you. Joanne's in the house. Good afternoon. Hi, Susie. And Kathy. Hello. Linda, hello to you. And Jenny. I just had a nice big bowl of hot melt soup. I throw a bunch of protein in there and some spinach and bada bing, done. That's what you can do, you know. Hi, Kim. There's my girl, Vanessa. Yay. Good to see you. Hi, Angie and Rebecca. You ladies are all coming in. Hi, Susie and Jane. Jane, raining in Georgia and cold. Yeah, it's cold here too. You see, I've got my Ugg boots on too. I wondered why I was awake so early, Moxie. Oh man, everybody. Sarah, hello. Everybody's having weird coldness right now, huh? Hello, Jenny. Yvonne. I thought you were going to say big bowl of ice cream. No. I'm not big on the ice cream. Thank God. I managed to miss that missile. Joanne's having air conditioning installed right now. Well, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. So there's that. All of that, right? Kathy's in Georgia too. Yay. Freeze warning tonight. I believe we have one as well. And it's windy. And they said that the high today was supposed to be in the low 60s. We haven't gotten past 55, I don't think. Hi, Joanne and Sue. Everybody's got, I know, it's like Mother's Day. It's Sunday. Oh my goodness. You're driving home tomorrow through North Carolina? How cool is that? So it's FriYay, everyone. That's right, Moxie. I know you are 5 a.m. Look at you. You're having coffee with me this morning in New Zealand. Beautiful country. I've never been, but at some point, believe me, it's on my list. I've heard so many beautiful things about New Zealand and such a lovely people. Gwen is here, so's Linda. And Marianne's in the house. Marianne has been with me for a long time. We go way back. Hello, Deborah. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Or maybe I just haven't noticed when you've come in. I'm just having a good time with the, my romper room thing, seeing all my friends coming in. So thank you so much for joining me today. It is FriYay. You know what that means, don't you? It means it's Q&A. And you guys have been really good about sending in some really great questions. And we've got quite a few here. I want to get started on those in just half a second. But I want to share with you first the quote of the week, which is a really interesting one from Buckminster Fuller. It's a ponderer, right? It's one of those ones that you want to meditate on and you want to think about and you want to allow a little rumination, shall we say. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. And the reason I love this is because it gives everyone hope. If you're stuck in a rut and you see things that aren't working, just remember that is an old model. You can build a new one. You have the creativity, the ability, the curiosity, everything that you need inside of you to be able to do that. That's what we do here. That's why we're so down on the whole diet culture. That's why we're looking at things from a different perspective. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I had some interesting questions specifically about finding about science and about different things. So we're going to go, we're going to go deep and wide. That's what we're going to do. We're going to look at everything in this Q&A. And I have to say too, how much I appreciate that you share these videos, that you buy our products, and that you support the small little woman-owned business. That's me. I've been doing Saving Dinner since 2001. Previous to that, I was a freelance writer, and I've been online in the online space forever and ever. Amen. This is back in the day where I actually had somebody counsel me and say, that online thing is not going to work for you. I actually had somebody tell me that. And you know what? It's working just fine. Thank you very much. And here I am all these years later. And let me just say, it has been a roller coaster ride, but isn't that how it is when you own your own business? Isn't that how it is when you're brave enough to do something like we have here? And, I don't get scared easily. I don't. But I do, but I'm also the captain I might be the captain of my own ship, but I'm also very cognizant of the fact that, the markets change. And for that reason, I say to you, thank you to all of our Dinner Answer subscribers. You help us to stay afloat month after month after month. And right now we have lowered the price to $7 a month. And a lot of you are already supporters. I'm seeing Amy and a few others of you. Thank you so much. You have absolutely you light up my life. You really do. You've just been so excellent. And, this is how we do it. Women helping women. And Dinner Answers, I'm helping you get dinner on the table with a menu plan that suits your family, customized for your nutritional needs, exactly the way you want it. We give you menu plans with menus, recipes, and shopping lists absolutely every Tuesday. And when we do that, we're saying to you, we're supporting you in your quest to get dinner on the table. And we get it. It's a lot, right? It's a lot. Those people want to eat every night. What's with that? But anyway, when you do that, you're supporting us in return. And for that, I say a hearty thank you and bless your souls. I appreciate it. And also all of you who buy our supplements. In particular, you know what you've done? You have caused a tsunami. I've had to reorder these. These are our Wise Women supplements. And I'm going to tell you what, I am so proud of these because I formulated them with a formulator. I threw down all the research, and when you see how all 4 of them work together, ridiculous. That's why we call it the Core 4. And most women are deficient. I hate to say it. Most of them are. They're taking B vitamins that they can't process, and they're peeing them all out. They're not getting adequate vitamin D. CoQ10, it's an enzyme that helps with heart function. And good grief, CalMag. Most people are taking it all wrong because it's all based on old research. You should not be taking it in the 3-to-1 ratio the way it used to be. They're showing in the brand new research that this is a problem. This is a problem, and that calcification can go right into your veins. That calcification could cause a kidney stone because your body needs the magnesium to process the calcium. It's that simple. And all the information that we have is right there at savingdinner.com/wise. You can find the whole thing out. And my strong suggestion is that you click and you read through it all. There's research that's annotated right there so you can see the research that I base this formulations on. It's amazing stuff. I always say to you, follow the science, follow the science. But I'm not stupid either. I also know that there's this thing called confirmation bias, and people are always going to be looking for the stuff that confirms their bias. That's what happens. We're humans. We do it. But my confirmation bias, let me just say this, just a word about that. My confirmation bias is that I believe, simply because the science has told us, that our body's innate desire to heal itself is firmly intact. It's just as much a part of our DNA as our DNA. And so you got to look at that. So if we give our bodies what they need, can you imagine what happens? That's the whole idea behind these supplements. Our Body Clutter Wise Women supplements, super proud of. Plus tea will be on the way soon. We've got new tea coming in. We've been busy. And listen, if you order your supplements and you decide you're going to like get everything in the house that we've got, great. I'll send you a mindful mug free if it's $200. And if you only spend $100, listen, when I say only, you know what I mean. Just add another $5 in and you can get yourself a mindful mug. That's cool. Is that cool or what? And of course, Friday is always Q&A. So if you want a question answered, today would be a good day to send it in and it'll get on there and I'll take a look at it. And next Friday at this time, I'll be answering your questions. You just send in an email to support@savingdinner.com and in the subject line, put question for Leanne on Friday and bada bing, bada bang. It ends up into my inbox. And here I am sitting here with a whole bunch of questions from you. If you have nutrition, cooking, or any other kind of question, believe me, I've answered a lot of weird stuff. Why not? Let's do it. And don't forget, while you're there, while you're in the shop, you can buy our body clutter tea. We still have some. We have body clutter tea, body clutter supplements, mindful mugs, perfect paleo protein. We've got all the things. Doesn't that make you happy? It makes me super happy. Cooking today at 4 o'clock. You guys, I cook at 4 p.m. every single day. Today, you know what I'm going to do? I've got mahi thawing because we haven't had enough fish this week. We usually have fish a couple of times a week. You know, we want to do that. And so I decided, you know, Mark said, so what are you going to make? What do we need to do? How do I need to prepare? Because he's been a doll. He helps me with all of this. And I said, I'm just going to do a freewheeling skillet mahi. I'm going to pull a few things, make a pan sauce. This is how I do it a lot of times. So I want to show you how I do it, what I've pulled, and I'll explain the whole process. Sound like a deal? It'll be good. I promise you, it will be good. We'll probably have some cauli rice with that. And I don't know, probably an arugula salad. I've got some arugula I need to get used up. Green is the color of the day. Green. I love my green. So let me start here. Let's get some questions answered. Oh, and don't forget, for Dinner Answers, if you want to be a supporter for Dinner Answers, go to savingdinner.com, click on the Dinner Answers, it's on the front page. And it's $7 a month right now. We have pandemic pricing, but it's usually $10. But I'll tell you what, as soon as this whole thing is over, it's going to go back to $10 a month, but not if you become a supporter right now. If you become a supporter, you're grandfathered in for life. You will never pay more than $7 a month. That's a pretty good deal. That's an amazing deal. But I mean, you can't buy a pizza for that, for heaven's sakes. There you go. All right. You ready for some questions? I've got some answers, so let's go for it. This is from Christina, and she says, I have been away for a while and now I'm back. I'm currently looking to go on my own personal health journey. I've heard you say to trust the science, and my question is, so where do I start? There are so many things out there that it gets very overwhelming for me. Are there any books or websites you recommend? I would like to do the research to find out what's best for me. I have a lot of good resources for you. There's a book called Deep Nutrition. I read it a long time ago. I cannot remember the name of it, but I found that to be really very, very strong book on nutrition. And it gets into the meat of the matter and why it's so important to eat according to the basic tenets in the book. And it's all science-based and annotated like crazy. So you want that. So that's number one. That would be a good book to have, and it's a nice big fat book and well done. The other thing that I would recommend, one of my mentors, and I've mentored her also, is Terry Walls. TerryWalls.com, and that's TerryWHLS.com. Terry's doing her own research to show that food is medicine. She's an MD. She's got her story about going from a tilt recline wheelchair to a year later, after doing all her own research, completely changing her diet, did a 17-mile bike race. That's impressive. And because she did all of this, and she knew the uphill battle from getting the medical establishment to accept that nutrition was that effective of a tool against such an awful disease. She had secondary relapsing MS, still does, but like I still have Hashimoto's, but consider myself in remission. I do not have the symptoms anymore. And same with Terry. She still gets fatigued easily. And like, the times that she's come and flown to my, she's flown and come and stayed in my house, she will use a wheelchair at the airport just to conserve energy. So, it's not like she's like back and she's like running marathon stuff and doing all of that. And she has tried going back to jogging and what have you, but she's an amazing woman. And I personally know her and can vouch for how impressive she is. She does her research and she has her own research foundation as well. So you can go there and find out. This is, to me, where we have to start. If you're going to start on a personal health journey, you start with the basis, the very basic stuff. And the very basic stuff is food, because food is the building blocks for your body. It either rips it down or it builds it back up. Now, Terry used to be a vegetarian, and it just, she was full of inflammation. It did not work for her. And we've had this, a long discussion about this because, again, you have to go back to the chemistry that's going on inside of your body. And we need to have the protein, we need to have the fat, and we also need to have fiber. Those are the things that are absolutely necessary. If you're a vegetarian, there's a lot of carbohydrate eating going on, and that can overflow into too much sugar, which can overflow into insulin resistance and all of that. So that could be an incredibly big problem. And for her, it was a problem. She was full of inflammation. When she got back, and she had been a vegetarian for years. When she got back to eating everything, of course, she was still in full color with all of her vegetables and what have you. As a matter of fact, she eats 7 to 9 cups of vegetables a day. Now, I don't know anybody that does that. The best way that I know to get a lot of vegetables in is to make a big vat of my mighty mitochondria soup, or even the hot milk soup, but a big vat of bone broth based soup with a ton of vegetables. That's just what I had for lunch. Both Mark and I did. A big bowl. And then we just take some leftover protein, put some fresh spinach in it. You've got your salad, you've got all those vegetables, you've got the bone broth, you've got, your protein, you've got everything that you need. Now, it's not as fat efficient, and I could have even drizzled a little olive oil on the top, but that's something that you do. And I'm over here on a tangent, but I'm telling you about Terry because this is a good place to get your nutrition information and lifestyle. Even her lifestyle stuff is really, really good because she explains the importance of self-care and what happens when you are dedicated to your own self-care and doing the things that you know that you need to do so that you can live the vibrant life you want to live. And she's excellent. She's above board, and she has the integrity way up there. I cannot speak highly enough of her. Those are good ones. I do like Mercola.com sometimes. Sometimes he has a tendency to go off into, the wild, wild west, and it's a little bit crazy. But he is a doctor. He's a DO. He is smart, and he's been on the forefront for years and years and years. You can find things there, take it with a grain of salt. Always do your own investigation afterwards and see, who are these people that he has talking about it. He's, just so you know, he's super anti-vaccination, he's a little conspiracy sometime. And so, like I said, I take a lot of his stuff with a grain of salt. But for nutrition, he's really on it. What else do I like? I also like some of Kelly Brogan's stuff. She's an MD also, but also a little conspiracy minded. But I like her approach because she's very much on the whole thing about, be really wary and be really careful about all the pills that they're trying to throw down your throat. And she has other nutritional things. And as a matter of fact, her husband, Sayer G, just came out with a new book, and it's called Regenerate. Sayer G, J-I, and that's on Amazon. So that's a lot of really good information, but I love the approach because it's using all the new science. The problem that we see is that oftentimes the old science is trotted out like this is all current. And then you look at the research paper and you go back and it's 2001, 1997, 1985, whatever. And what we want to do is we want to see what the latest research is. That's what we want to do. And I also want to just cushion everything that I'm saying right now with this. We don't know everything that we need to know. Everything that we need to know has not been discovered yet. We're even finding new nutrients. And in the human body, we're even finding new systems we didn't know exist. The endocannabinoid system, for example, which is sort of almost like a nervous system. It goes all throughout the body. That was discovered in 1990. So you can see how incredibly, it's crazy. It is crazy what we don't know. There is so much that we don't know. And I just want you to always keep that in mind when you read something, and also check with yourself. Like, does this feel right? Does this resonate? Not that none of us are the ultimate authority, and all of us have confirmation bias, right? And all of us think that we know that we're doing the right thing. But we need to check in with ourselves, because my way of eating might not be your way of eating. And I have found that nutrition can get very polarizing. I've had some pretty nasty things said about me from some vegans that just purely did not like what I had to say. Fine. But on the other hand, I honor the way a vegan eats, and I honor the fact that they're eating whole foods. And we have menus, recipes, and shopping lists for vegans. But we're agnostic here at Saving Dinner, and I am somewhat too, although I tend to have a feeling, and based on my research and based on what I've seen with my clients, and having been a nutritionist since the early 90s, I've seen a lot of success. I've seen a lot of success with certain things that I suggest. And one of the things is let's for heaven's sakes, let's take care of that insulin. If we can get the insulin down, then we are going to be working on healing that body. There's a lot of insulin surging going on, and we're just not meant to be eating breakfast, which, by the way, the most important meal of the day. Who do you think came up with that one? That was Kellogg's. It's a marketing ploy. Eat your cereal, eat your whole grains. More carbohydrates, more carbohydrates. Do it with skim milk, more carbohydrates, right? We want to stay low fat, more carbohydrates, more sugar. And why do I have insulin resistance? Why is my blood sugar out of control? We're not meant to eat that many carbohydrates. We're just not. And if we never had another carbohydrate, we would be okay, because it is not an essential food group. Surprise! But what is fat and protein and fiber. And fiber, it helps. Kathy, thank you. I appreciate that. I've worked with Kathy before too. This is what we do. When we are on our journey, we're open, but not so open-minded that our brains fall all over the floor, and just anybody can have at it. And we understand too, does this feel right for me? Is this working for me? Is this getting me to the health goals that I want? And when we're in touch with ourselves and we're doing a fair amount of self-care, this is so important. We have to do a fair amount of self-care. Meditation, prayer, journaling, getting centered is super important. Hydrating adequately. That gets overlooked. Not sleeping enough. This was all in my webinar, by the way. And if you want to go watch the webinar from last night, you can go to savingdinner.com/webinar. It's right there. They'll make you, register for it just so that they can put you in the system, and then you can click on it, and there you go, right? There you go. Tammy said, I'm supposed to do a grain-free diet. Well, I think that's a good idea. I think going grain-free is a good idea. And I just had a question. I think it was Margot who was asking, but aren't fruit and veggies good carbs? Yes, they are. But we want to go low carb. We want to just keep those veggies low. We want green. We want as much green as we can possibly get into our bodies. I promise you, nobody has overdosed on anything green. No one. And so what we want to look at is that. We want to look at those green vegetables. We want to look at bok choy. We want to look at cabbages and cruciferous vegetables and arugula and all the green things. A lot of the green things, and stay away from those higher starchy vegetables that aren't necessarily doing you any favor. And same with the fruit. Understand that an apple today was not the apple 50 years ago. It's been bred to have higher amounts of sugar. And some of them, they don't even care. They're just like, sugar plum apples or whatever. They're just like double up on the sugar. You can see this with the grapes and all of that. But they're ridiculously high in sugar. If you're going to do any kind of fruit, keep it down, keep it minimal, like a small serving, and make sure it's berries. Berries are high in fiber and low in sugar, less glycemic impact. So anyway, I just kind of went off the deep end a little bit on that, but I hope that was helpful for you, Christina, because, you know, all of us are on this journey. All of us are on a personal health journey, whether we know it or not, you know, whether we've made that decision or not. And if we don't make a decision on a personal health journey, we will find out sitting across from a doctor that that personal health journey was not too good. We didn't do a very good job with it. We weren't intentional with it. And I think we all need to be intentional with it. We don't get second chances. We can't go back and rewrite the last 10 years. And what you're building on today is going to be who you are in 10 years or 5 years even, the next year. So keep that in mind. And this is my heart truly is to see you get healthier, to see you thrive, to see you have the life that you want to live, to be vibrant. You can't do that when you're constantly in pain and your joints all ache and you can't get out and be with your kids. You can't do that if you're too heavy to get on a ride at Disneyland when you take your kids. You can't do that if everything is holding you back. If your health and your weight are holding you back, you aren't living the vibrant life you want to live. And I told you this story yesterday that, you know, for me, one of the biggest things was I found when I was looking through all the pictures, how many times I ducked out of pictures because I was so heavy I didn't want my picture taken. You know, I was over 237 pounds. I don't want my picture taken. And then I have a couple of them that I found that were, you know, sent to me when I was on a speaking engagement. And it was just like, oh man, that was kind of my come to Jesus meeting, you know, there it is. Okay. And somebody said to me, were you pregnant? Because I looked like I'm about 7 months pregnant. Nope, just a lot of belly fat. So again, if you want to, like Christina, get on your personal health journey, do it intentionally. Don't do it in a way that's destructive. Do it in a way that's constructive. Figure out a way to get all that green in, bring down the carbs, and start thinking of yourself as, you know, a masterpiece, because God doesn't make junk. And we are the ones who have to tend the garden. So tend it well. All right. Let's see. What did, somebody was saying, what are the high carb veggies? High carb veggies are things like potatoes, are higher in carbs, although there's some good redeeming things about potatoes, but you know, that's for another time. There is a thing called resistant starch, which is a prebiotic, and it's good, but you have to like bake a potato, get it cool, and then heat it up and eat it again. And then that way it'll be a whole lot more beneficial, less sugar, right? That's one. All of the squashes, most of the squashes, I should say, like butternut squash and all of those, those are all higher, like carb carrots, for example. And what I do with carrots, one of the reasons that I grate carrots a lot is I want to get the flavor of carrot, but I don't want to be adding like 3 or 4 carrots. So I want to get the flavor of the carrots. I want to get the benefit of the beta carotene in there, but I just want to keep the carb count down. And you can use them. Be sparing, though. Be very sparingly on them. And for heaven's sakes, can we just all agree that we've had enough sweet potato casseroles with maple syrup, brown sugar, and marshmallows? That's just crap. Don't do that. Corn and peas are also very much. But corn is not a vegetable. Corn is a grain, all right? Corn is a grain, and peas are legumes. So those two things, yes, they're pretty high in fiber. When we're looking at vegetables, and you know, it's so tragic, the things that you see that are, they're considering veggies. And, you know, I've seen people say, look what we made, you know, and then you've got some kind of fried thing with a greasy gravy on it and some corn for the vegetables and some mashed potatoes. Nope, you haven't hit any nutritional home runs there. And that's why we need to keep looking at our plates. Our plates have to be the target trifecta. The target trifecta is fat, fiber, and protein, always. And when we're looking at fiber, we're looking at green vegetables, low-carb green vegetables with high fiber. And just remember this, the darker the vegetable, the more the nutrition. So dark green veggies, fabulous. The color should go from outside all the way in, and those are the best veggies for you. And sulfur vegetables, like, and cruciferous vegetables. So it would be like sulfur vegetables would be any of the cruciferous vegetables, would be onions as well, the alliums as well, and garlic, and also mushrooms. And make sure that you cook your mushrooms. Mushrooms are fabulous, but they have almost an undigestible fiber and a little bit of toxin that gets all taken care of when you saute them. Easy, easy. All mushrooms have toxins, so don't be eating white mushrooms in your salads anymore. All right, stop it. Sometimes this just, how do I make this go away? Go away. Okay. All right, and now we're done. There it is. This is from Carla. What is the best time to take the B vitamins, the B complex vitamins? And she is talking about this little number, which, by the way, is methylated B12 and folate. Massively important, because half the population, that's half the population of the human race, has this mutated gene called the MTHFR gene. Half the population. And here's the thing that you need to know about this. When you have that mutated gene, you do not methylate the B12, or you do not methylate folic acid very well. Not at all. And I've told you the story how my daughter was in a car accident, and they said they found little tiny holes up and down her spine, and they said she was this close to spina bifida. That's because I have that gene, and I didn't know about the whole B complex thing, and I had to go take B12 shots and all of this, and I was very low on folic acid until I understood about methylated vitamins. Methylated vitamins, You got to have them methylated. And, we pay extra for this, but I'm going to tell you, if you haven't done a genetics test and don't know, assume that you need methylated vitamins. And B complex, to me, is basically a buffer between you and your stress. If you are, and listen, we're all under a little bit of stress, okay? Can we just talk, just say the word pandemic, that equals stress. Just work is stress. Dealing with your family is stress. We are all under some kind of stress. Even doing exercise, good for you, but it's stressful for you. And we always need to be dealing with that stress. That's the first line of defense for a B complex. And B complex, our B's are better taken together. It's like a symphony. When you take B's separated out, it's like listening to a tuba concert. Do you want to listen to that? Or would you rather listen to a full symphony? I'd rather listen to a full symphony, not a tuba. Tubas have their place in a symphony, but they're not a good solo instrument. So if you want to take extra B, and I'm going to talk about that, then that's different. Start with a B complex, add the extra B in. I take extra biotin for my hair, because for a while there, my hair was just coming out in globs. Now it's fine, but I take extra biotin on the side, but always with the B complex. Okay? All right. So when is the best time to take the B complex? It's with your meal. All supplements, with exception of, for example, like if you're taking an iron supplement, you want to take that separate from your zinc, because iron and zinc together are not a good mix. If you are taking any kind of supplement, though, you want to take that with a meal. We always take ours after breakfast. After we break our fast, I have our supplements and put them out, and then I nag Mark until they're done. Occasionally I find them sitting on his desk and I'm like, get on it. Yeah, so that's the best time to always take all of your supplements. SAMe, which we also sell, which I believe is the best antidepressant on the market. I do. That's my personal belief. In the EU, it is a prescription antidepressant. And it's also good for your joints. I take it for my joints. I have no joint problems, no anything. Not bad for an old girl, 62, right? So I have nothing. I have no bad knees, no nothing. Everything's great. But I have been taking SAMe every morning on an empty stomach, probably since the late 90s. And if I ever run out, I never run out. I will not allow myself to run out. always have it in stock. We carry it because I am such a firm believer in it. And again, back to Christina's question, go do your research on it. Go check it out. Go see why it's so effective. Go see why it has there's almost no side effects, no contraindications. And it's more effective than all of these pharmaceutical stuff with all of those issues. And one of the things that always kills me about no, my birthday isn't today. It's on the 13th. I'm just going to say it because I don't care. I mean, it's coming up. What was I going to say about that? What was I saying? I don't even know. Anyway, but I was talking about the B vitamins, talking about SAMe. Oh, if you look at that and you look at the whole thing with antidepressants, which believe me, I understand. There's a lot of people that are on them and it's just been helpful and all of that. But one of the biggest things one of the biggest things that I have ever seen with this whole thing is they cause you to gain weight. If you look at the contraindications and side effects, antidepressants cause you to gain weight. Isn't that depressing? I find that hilariously ridiculous because that is an issue in and of itself. And if you've got a medication that's supposed to help you with your depression and it makes you gain weight, not working. No, thank you. So anyway, we have SAMe in the shop. If you want to go take a look at it, you can see what we have. Why is this not working? I can't get this thing to... When do you expect the... Oh, there it is. Whoa, okay. When do you expect the new updated body clutter to be available to purchase? Well, you can get the updated body clutter here on our website. We have it. Let's just do this. I have updated a couple of the chapters in the old body clutter to especially, I think it's chapter 8, which is the nutrition chapter, especially that completely revamped. I probably would even need to do more on that. There's a few things in there that I did, and it's on an ebook. You can find it in the shop under our ebooks. You can find that. And if you've got body clutter and get this ebook, then you can see the updated version. That aside, let's just say this, that we also have, we have a new book that we're writing, and it will be, it needs to get done. I've been so busy. It's been really difficult to get on it. As a matter of fact, I just had a conversation about that. So yes, it needs to get done. I need to get my part finished and get it over to Marla so that she can do her part. But, the thing about this new book is that every time I keep thinking, I got to add this in and I got to add that in. And I want this book to be, a well-researched, number one, and also a go-to book, a reference book for you, so that you can find the things that you need, because we have to look at it. We're looking at it, and we did this in the first book, but this book is really intense, the one that we're in the process of writing right now, and it's called The Carousel of Crazy, by the way. And but The Carousel of Crazy is really looking at all the things. It's looking at how we eat, how we move, how we hydrate, how we sleep, how we are psychologically there, and not there, and psychologically what it is that we need to do. And you've heard me explain this a few times, but it's the honest to God truth. And that is that if it were just about a plan, we'd all be billionaires and have six-pack abs. It's not, because there's a lot of get-rich books, do this, do that, and you're going to be rich. And there's a lot of do this, do that, and you're going to lose all this weight. If it was just about a plan, it would be, nothing. But what is it that prevents us from doing something? What is it that prevents us? What's the block? Where's the obstacle? Where's the speed bump? Where's the thing in our head that won't let us get past that? And that's the place where I'm digging. I dig on that. And you know that. And probably you've seen even my stuff evolve over time. As the more research I do, the more I find and I experiment on myself. So this new book will be out. Where are we? It's May. I'm hoping by this summer. So let's get rid of this pandemic, and I need to get busy. That's my word to you. I will get busy, and I will get this done before the end of the month. Somebody hold me to it. Oh my gosh, what did I just say? If I can get that part done and get it over to Marla, then we're good. We're golden, because she's really good about getting stuff done. This is from Joy. I'm in my 50s. I have noticed more hair in my shower drain than I used to. Which of your products or supplements help with hair loss? Well, there's plenty of things that you can do. A couple of things is please, and by the way, happy birthday, Lucy. I'm seeing that it's Lucy's birthday today. Happy birthday. Okay, so let's just talk about hair for a second. This is, losing your hair is the biggest thing. Reason for that is thyroid function. And oftentimes what happens is we go and we get our cholesterol done, and they do your basic panel that they do. And they do a TSH, which is the thyroid stimulating hormone. Well, not always is that enough information. There's not. And so you've got to look at it from the perspective of, I need to have my thyroid checked. Okay? And if they say, yeah, we had your TSH and everything looks good, and you're losing your outer parts of your eyebrows, your hands and feet are constantly cold, you have maybe a little tender or hoarse where your thyroid is. It's a big butterfly-shaped organ that's right there on your throat. Anyway, if all of that, if you have those kind of symptoms, you need to talk to your doctor. And if you've gained weight, you need to talk to your doctor, because that also is part of the whole thing. And I've shared this story before, but when I started to see this, my hair was falling out. I was dieting my little fanny off, and I even had a personal trainer. This is years ago in the early 2000s, and I was working out and trying to get this body clutter off. I could not figure out what was going on. I was gaining 10 pounds a month. Finally went to the doctor, and this is what she told me. She told me, you need to knock off the pizza, honey. She, a woman doctor, doing this to me. I was so ticked. Anyway, I did fire her, but after I got my test. And indeed, I was off the rails. And of course, she wanted to put me on Synthroid, and I argued with her on that. And I did finally get my way, and I was put on a Bioidentical thyroid Armor at the time. Now I take this one. I take WP thyroid, and it's prescription, but again, that's what we need to do. And yes, hair loss can be due to metabolic syndrome. Now, metabolic syndrome is a couple of different things together. It's usually high blood pressure, it's high sugar, insulin resistance, if not type 2. And there could be a couple of other things in there as well. And that can all, it's inflammation. And inflammation can cause your hair to fall out. So what we want to do, so how we fix this, first of all, we have to get in, we have to have the testing done. Do I have a thyroid issue? Okay. Do I have any other symptoms besides the hair? And then ask not only for the TSH, but a full panel and antibody test, so that you know what the heck is going on. And by the way, always, 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 always ask for your records. Don't just let them say, oh, everything looks fine, this, that, and the other thing, or, oh, gee, your cholesterol's kind of high, here, take this pill for the rest of your life. Say, no. And always give yourself a chance to think about it. Unless it's life and death, do your research. Don't just take it. Don't just let them do it. Don't just let them tell you. Remember, MD does not stand for medical deity, right? You have to be in charge of your own body and your own health. And you want a doctor who's your partner, not lording it over you and not telling you to shut up, take this prescription. No. Fire that doctor and go get someone else. Remember, you're not a tree. You're not planted where you are. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Find somebody who's going to support you. Do your research and then make decisions from there. And if you choose to do it, fine. I'm not anti-pharmaceutical. I am anti-sheep. We can't be sheep. We have to take an active role. Advocate for yourself. Have a voice. I believe in you. So, the other thing that you're going to want to do is B complex. Your B complex, massively important. So get the B complex. I mean, I would get all 4 of these, honestly. I would get all 4 of these, unless you're on blood thinners. You know, if you're on blood thinners, then stay away from the CoQ10 without talking to your doctor. But these all go together, you know. And if you read about the wise women's, if you read about all of this, the vitamin D, the B complex, and even the CalMag, all of these go together and they work synergistically. Add in the collagen, do some collagen loading, bone broth, every single day. Every single day. We have perfect paleo protein. I think nope, it's not even there. It's downstairs because I was using it. Perfect paleo protein. Use that in a smoothie and break your fast with that. Get your diet on point and do some stress relief type stuff, yoga, meditation, prayer, deep breathing exercises, really just participating with your body. I've shared this before that when I do my meditation, I do it first thing in the morning, just as I'm starting to wake up in the theta state. That's the theta state is when you're either just starting to fall asleep or just starting to wake up. And as soon as I'm starting to wake up, I put I put my headset in and I put my phone on and I meditate. I can tell because I use Brain FM. It's an app for your phone. You pay for it every year. And because I can tell when it started, you know, the meditation is starting to go down and it's going to be ending pretty soon, that's when I really focus on my body. And I focus on every single part of my body that I really want to get the function up on. So with my thyroid, I bless my thyroid. I bless every cell in my body. And I ask God as I'm praying, because I'm praying through this whole thing too, that to remove all the cells that are doing my body no good. Remove all of those. Let's do a metabolic cleanup on that and strengthen every other cell in my body. Make me strong and vibrant. All of this stuff, when we're cooperating and when we're mindful of what our bodies are doing, we get an opportunity to participate. That's what I believe. And call me crazy. I've been called worse. But I really believe this with all of my heart, that this is part of our health journey. And this is part of making ourselves well. And this is part of making ourselves even happy and more connected. And not just, you know, living Groundhog Day, day in and day out. We get to participate in our body's function. We get to participate in the world around us. And we just need to show up. Show up at your meals. You know, that's what the mindful mug was all about. Did you see that yesterday? That's what I talked about. Show up for your meals. Show up for your family. Show up and for yourself. And take your supplements. Eat well. Pray. Meditate. Write in your journal. And be in on the journey of where you're going. It's not about just putting on a cute pair of jeans. It's about the journey on the way to those jeans. That is what's going to form you and make you the woman that you want to be. So that's a cool thing. And gosh, I know I kind of went off on a tangent because we were talking about hair. But this is all part of the healthy journey. And I believe that, you know, when a woman's hair is falling out, it's tragic. And believe me, I understand. I've gone and picked great big globs up out of my shower. But I also didn't accept it. I didn't accept that my hair was falling out. And not that everybody has this, you know, opportunity to do this or whatever, but you go through the place of saying, okay, so what is going on here? And you become a student of that. And you get your supplements down you every single morning. You don't just take them and then when they're empty, you're done. No, you're on a journey and you're going to be building your vibrant life with this journey. And you want to feel the very best that you can, you take your supplements. You want to feel the best that you can, you do the meditation. You want to feel the best that you can, you get the proper amount of sleep. And you hydrate your butt off the way you need to be hydrating. It's all there. It's critical. And watch what happens. And you move. And you move. I was talking to a woman just recently, and I think even last night somebody also asked me, it's the same kind of question, about cholesterol. How do we get that cholesterol down? How do we get that? Because it's inflammatory, right? It's too high. Well, if you hydrate, if you're, you know, and instead of just taking out egg yolks because you think they're evil, which is ancient science, by the way, instead of doing all of that and going low fat and all that science that's been way debunked, if you do instead do a whole healthy diet, getting as much green in as possible, moving, meditating, drinking your water, You watch. Those blood tests are going to change. I had high cholesterol and high everything, and they wanted to put me on medication, and no, that's not happening. And then the next time I had mine done, and after moving, after losing weight, after drinking water, after doing all the things that I'm telling you I do, my levels were optimal. This for an old broad, me, it's possible. This is the possibility of taking care. When you are an advocate for yourself and you're actively, proactively doing these things for yourself, you can write the story of how it's going to go. I believe that with my whole heart. That's why I'm here. Okay. Now, go away. Let's get to the next one. Boy, it's just really being a pain. Maureen said she brought some broccoli seeds. Okay, well, no, let's go to... This is from Anonymous. I love that. This is not really a question, but I hope you will still read it. Happy Mother's Day to each and every lovely lady who had the opportunity to be a mom. Give yourself a great big hug. Leanne, your daily encouragement has helped me to change and repair my own narrative, and I will forever be grateful for this wonderful tribe. Thank you all. Oh, I got all the good chills on that. Well, thank you for whoever wrote that. And yes, happy Mother's Day to every woman on the planet, because we've all mothered in some way or fashion, Mothering is I believe, is in our DNA. And mothering is something, even if you've never had a child, never been a mother in the sense that you've, raised children, you're still a mother because it's in you and it's part of who you are. And your love pours out, and this is part and parcel of the woman equation. It's what makes us so wonderful. Am I right? You know it. Okay, well, that kind of gave me a little teary-eyed thing. Now, if I could I'm going to get a little frustrated here if I can't get this to work. I don't know why. I think it has to do with Safari. All right, Maureen is saying, I bought a packet of broccoli seeds at the thrift store. Is that what you use for your sprouts? Just eat them before they grow big. I don't know about buying, agricultural broccoli sprouts versus the kind that you use for that kind of consumption. But why not try it? I would just maybe rinse them really well, give them a good rinse, and they need to soak overnight, and then you need to put them on, I don't know, look, there's people who say you can grow them in a mason jar. I've never had success with that. I use the little trays, and my trays are wonderful. I'm a full-on gardener when it comes to that stuff, so that works really well. But yeah, do that. I mean, it's just super easy to do broccoli sprouts, and they're such superfoods. I think it's fantastic. Margot said, I think that was me. We went over the cholesterol quite a bit in our session, which was great, by the way. Thank you. Yes, Margot, I remember talking to you, but I since then, since that time, I've spoken a few times about it, including last night when I did the webinar. And if you want to watch that webinar, by the way, there's a really bunch of good information there. Go to savingdinner.com/webinar, and you can find out all the things. I've got 10 big things that differentiates the keto diet from our way of doing it, which we call the hot melt way. I don't even want to use the word diet anymore. I hate diets. I think they're awful. And we don't want to be a part of that culture, right? We're done with the gurus. We're done with the carousel of crazy. We want to live vibrant lives. End of story. That's it. That's what we're about. It's just that easy. And that's it for my questions. And I really appreciate the fact that all of you show up here all the time. You show up here Fridays and Mondays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I appreciate you so much. And I also appreciate the fact that you share these videos and that you're bringing more people into our tribe. We are an amazing community, and it's because of you and your participation in all that you do. And I'm honored to be your fearless leader, and I'm honored to be a part of your lives. So thank you for being a part of mine. You make my life better every single day. And I appreciate you. I will see you at 4 p.m. Eastern downstairs in the kitchen. And I'm going to tell you what, we're going to be cooking some fish, girlfriends. We are going to be cooking some fish. Peace out. I'll see you later. Bye.